everybody, it's Vince with Listings to Leads, and this is our class to discuss all the ways you can get listings with our platform. And I want to say, before we dive into that, as you can see on our website, it's kind of telling you, you can get buyers here and you can get listings here, right? And it doesn't matter if you do or if you don't have listings. So a lot of agents feel like, I don't have listings, there's nothing I can do with this to help my business. And that's a mistake. You can get both buyers and sellers without having any listings at all. Before we started the class, I did ask the group, do any of you have listings right now? Because then you can certainly use things differently. I'm going to explain it for both. This is what you do if you have a listing or if you sold a listing, and this is what you do if you don't. Okay, we're going to cover that. I do want to point out, I don't know if you can see it, in the GoToMeeting chat panel is a PDF for the top tools. I'm going to download it. I've actually never seen it. We talked about it. So I see, yeah, this is long. So anyway, we're going to discuss these, but you can download them, and it might be a good resource for you to just print, okay, and look at, just as a reminder, like these are the top ways of getting listings. And I'm not going to kind of drive through this and walk you through it, but it's actually designed for you to print it and write your own notes. So if you feel like you've got a printer nearby and you want to kind of hold on to this and write notes as I'm talking, then do that. And I'll kind of go back here. This is the first time I've actually seen this loaded. So it's nice that we've got it there. You can download it and keep it for yourself, and at least use it as a reminder, right? So let's see, got some answers here. So Laura said, you just closed one before Christmas. So we're going to talk about some ways of using the system to market that to get more listings. And Tammy, yes, has listings, and Vedrana has listings. So it's good if you do have listings. I'm going to definitely show you the tools there, but you can also borrow listings and get a lot of these tools as if it were your own listings. So Vedrana, you can use that pending one from the team as well. And when it sells, you can use it. And then Robert, yeah, so Robert, you're having an issue running an ad with L to L. You might want to ping support on that. I don't know what that issue is, but yes, you can borrow a listing from the office, and I'll kind of show you how we do that. So let's get into, well, I actually want to say a couple things. One is you should all be in the mastermind group, right? And if you're not in the mastermind group, go into your account and go to the support page and say, please add me to the mastermind group. And I want to point out a couple of things, because the number one tool, I'll log in right now, the number one tool for listings, for getting listing leads that turn into listing contracts, is actually a print letter, okay? And I think sometimes that surprises a lot of agents. A lot of our agents who listen to this call, they know that that is the number one tool. But a lot of agents can't believe it because they think there's going to be something online that's going to be that magic bullet. And we have a lot of magic bullets, but the best bullet is actually a print letter. So let's just go over there and get it. It's in the listing section. So like I said, do you have listings? If you have a listing, it should be sitting right here. Now, if you sold a property, let's say that you signed up last week, but you sold a property 2 months ago. And you can do this even if it's 3 months old. There's no rules against marketing a sold property, none that I'm aware of at least. But anyway, if you don't have any listings in here, you can use this green button up here and you can manually add a listing, right? And you might do that if you sold a home 2 or 3 months ago, because there's no way for us to pull it up, right? So you can manually add it. It's just these data points here and then add a picture or two, right? Or if you're borrowing, so somebody here is saying they're going to borrow a listing from their office, go to the listings and use this button that says grab active listing, put in the zip code, put in the MLS ID for that listing, and then deselect that so we don't make a YouTube video and grab it. And it will pull that listing in and it will sit just like here like this, okay? Now these are all my listings, and you'll notice that some of my properties are in contract or sold or active. This one here is actually an open house. So I'm going to click on market listing, and I'm going to go here to the nearby homeowner letter. So we're going to come here a few times, But the nearby homeowner letter is the #1 tool for getting listing leads that turn into listing contracts. So I want to be really clear about what I just said, right? Because I'm going to show you, a handful of tools that generate listing leads. Okay, that's the point of this call. But some leads are higher quality than other leads, right? So if you've been in real estate for a while, let's say 4 or 5 years, you've probably heard that there are landing pages like this, and you can run an ad on Facebook and drive people to a page and get high quality listing leads. And had we been talking like 4 years ago, you would have heard me say that almost every week for years. But things have changed on Facebook. And so this strategy of running a home valuation ad on Facebook does not generate the highest quality leads. The page still works, but if you drive people to that page with this print piece of paper, these are high quality leads, okay? So what does that mean? That means that we've created this, and this works. You can just download it somewhere in here. I can download this, and you print it, right? And then you print it, and then you can decide, do I want to door knock it? Do I want to mail it? And I will tell you this, we create this letter and it works just like it is. You can certainly customize it if you want to, but it's not necessary. But our clients, if you go in the mastermind group, you will see that they are continually talking about how they are applying this. And I was actually scrolling down earlier because I want to show you something that some agent, this guy here, Josh, on the last day of the year, made a handy little video telling everybody how he's doing it. Like he's downloading the letter. He says he actually customized the letter because he likes his wording better. And then he uses a company called Thanks.io. And we know Thanks.io. I think we were actually talking about them for full scale integration. They're not the cheapest, but they are really good. Anyway, he talks about Thanks.io, and he talks about another resource to get a high quality list of homes, right? And so you can watch that if you want. It sounds like he's a coach and he's got some referral links, so he'll get a little commission if you sign up on his links, which we're not too flipped out about that, right? But I do want to point out that in the mastermind group, so that video could be helpful, but when you're in the mastermind group, there's always a magnifying glass. And I want you to remember these 3 names. Chris Winstead. And look at this video on August 2022, because that guy comes in the group and says, I got 5 listings in 3 months with that letter. Now this video, he's obviously shooting out on Facebook. But if you look at the comments, and I do recommend that you look at the comments if you want more listings, read what people are saying and read what he said. This is it. This is the crux of what he did. He takes that letter and sends it out every other week to neighbors who've owned their homes for 5 years or more. So he gets that list from like a title partner or a lender partner. And you can use Remine, and some of your MLSs give you this data, but you find a list of homeowners with equity. And then he would mail that letter out with borrowed listings. So he had just moved to San Antonio, Texas. He is a realtor before, but he moves there with his family, so he has no name recognition. He just starts borrowing listings and mailing these letters based on those listings. And then he says, every time somebody fills in the home valuation page, I contact them every week with phone calls, bomb, letters via mail, and letters left at the door, okay? This is the letter, and what he means is that when he gets this letter to the neighborhood every 2 weeks, people are opening the mail, they're taking this piece of paper to their computer, and people are filling out that web address by hand, typing it in a computer, and then giving them their address and their contact information to get the instant valuation, right? Who in the world is going to do that? Only people that are very seriously thinking about the value of their home. And if they're thinking about the value of their home enough to open up a letter, take a piece of paper to their own computer and give you that information, you should probably be talking to them. That's why Chris has said in 3 months he got 5 listings out of that, right? This is a guy who just moved into an area, has no name recognition. A couple of other names, because I want you to totally know this story, because This year, I want you to have more listings, right? I hope that's why you're on this call. Dustin Fox, same letter, mails it out first class. Now he does put it, you know, he puts a little one-page calendar thing in there. He mails it first class to 250 homes just south of Washington, D.C. He did make a little Zillow tutorial page with Canva. And he mails it to 250 homes. It cost him $625, but he pulls 10 listings in Maryland with an average commission of $17,000. So he was gracious enough to say that is our highest ROI, right? So I would read, there's almost 200 comments here. If you want to apply this, there's a lot to learn in those comments because a lot of realtors are talking about what they're doing. And I want to point out one more thing that Dustin came in here with. Let's see if we can see it. A couple months after posting this, Dustin came in and said, hey, I just want you to know that we are paying somebody to handwrite the addresses with his super cool silver disco Sharpie pen. Because he knows that if people think it's junk mail, they throw it away. And the more people that open that envelope, the more leads he gets, the more listings he gets. I want to just tell you something anecdotal. Let's see if I can pull it up here real quick. This guy, Dustin, was a rookie agent about 5 years ago. I sold their office about 6 years ago. And he was a rookie. He had been in the business for 2 years. He was doing $5 million a year. And he has told our group, we actually have a recorded webinar like this in the mastermind group in his name. And he says, yeah, he says, I went from 5 million a year in production to 20 million a year. And he says, 80% of my business comes from your tools and listings to leads. And I put in 2 hours a week working in your system. He takes his daughter to ballet and he goes next door to Starbucks and works while his daughter is dancing. And that's how that rookie agent went from 5 to 20 million. Okay. Now, Dustin also comes in here when some agent asks, like, hey, who here gets 2 listings or more per month strictly from listings to leads, right? Just a question random to the mastermind group. And he said, we get 2 listings on average every time we market a listing. And like I was saying earlier, it doesn't actually have to be your listing, but you can still use a lot of the tools. And they're trying to get that to above 3. I know Dustin, he's probably getting 3 listings. Of course he's getting buyers, but he's getting more listings because he's using that tool and the other tools that I'm going to show you, right? It's called the Nearby Homeowner Letter. You get there by going to listings and you click on any market listing button and it's going to be like number 5 on that list. Okay, and you download it and you get it in the market, however you want to get it in the market, okay? Let's go look, there's some questions, let's take this. Okay, can you please post the link to the Facebook group? I can't, so yeah, so Louise is asking a question, I can't find the mastermind group. And the mastermind group is actually a private group on Facebook, and if you're not in it, you can't even see it, okay? And so that's why you need to go to your support page in your account at the bottom left, and right here in this box, say, please add me, right, to the mastermind. And they will add you. The support team knows how to do that, right? What's a Facebook group? It's called the Listings to Leads Mastermind Group. And as I said, you can't find it if you're not in it. So use the support page to get in there, okay? Now, there's one more name that I want you to know when it comes to this letter, and that's Alicia Pless. And Alicia came in here. There are other names because so many of our agents use this letter, but she's really been good about saying, I use really brightly colored envelopes. Again, if it looks like junk mail, it just gets tossed. So she's taken it upon herself to like, I'm gonna customize these letters. Here's somebody saying I'm handwriting them, right? The power of that letter appears when people open the letter, right? So here's another kind of custom looking envelope. So I just want to sort of lay that on you, right? That you need to think about that. Let's go back to listings and let's talk about the other tools that can help you get more listings, all right? And this is just on the market listing side. So I've got right now an open house, and I want to say that an open house, you would rightfully be thinking you're going to get buyers, right? The nearby homeowner letter talks about, let's see if I got it where I lost it. The nearby homeowner letter for the open house says, hey, we got an open house in your neighborhood, 1 o'clock, right? But that's going to affect your home value. So you can market a home just listed, open house, pending, or sold. It's always going to say, go learn about the house here and go get your free home value there, right? So a lot of our clients, including Dustin, will use this letter a couple of times for the same home. They'll mail it out when it's just listed, and they'll mail it out when it's just sold, right? Because you're getting it multiple times. People will, they may not open up the first time you mailed, right? But maybe they open the third or fourth time, and the key is you want people to open that letter. So there's another tool here for the seller. And this is something that I think a lot of agents don't understand, or one, they might not be comfortable. Did I miss the third person to check out in the mastermind group? Chris Winstead, Dustin Fox, and Alicia Pless. Okay, those are the 3 names, Cheryl. And I recommend that when you read what they're saying about that letter, because these people have all applied it very well. And there's a lot of feedback from other agents talking about what they're doing. And it's just easier, if you don't want to totally reinvent the wheel, to just learn what other clients have been doing, right? So this letter back here, this is the seller social media post. So when we talk about social media, I don't know what you know about what listings to leads can do for you in social media, but we can run ads we can auto post your listings to your social media accounts. We can run an ad by clicking one button and the leads come back with phone numbers. You can also now schedule automated ads, so you don't even have to click a button to run an ad. We just do it automatically. That's all cool, right? But that's for your social media. This is for the homeowner's social media, right? And there's a reason why we do that. So we email a letter to you, and when we do that, it gives instructions, and you get this automatically. And even though we send it to you automatically, a lot of our clients ignore it. And I really recommend that you understand what it is and you talk about it when you get a listing, right? Meaning when you get in a listing presentation, you should be talking about social media. You should be talking about all the ways that you market a home, and that's part of your value as a realtor. But if you tell them you've got a really strong, kind of strategy with social media, it involves, we auto post to YouTube, we auto post to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. If you're saying that, and Instagram, well, you've differentiated yourself as a listing agent from probably a lot of other people, right? And you can even say, I've even got tools for you that I'm going to share with you when we start marketing your home, right? And they'll be like, cool, you're really great with social media, and that's great, right? So, but this is what the tool looks like. So we send it to you, the agent, and we give you the instruction, forward it to your client. And you forward it to your client, you send it, and you call them, and you say, hey, I just sent you something, and I know you get 100 emails every day. Would you copy what I sent you and put it on your wall, right? And this way it says, we're having an open house, and you at your office is doing a lot of marketing, right? Please share this, right? So obviously, if somebody clicks on that link or that picture, we're going to drive them to a page that is going to convey information on the home. It's also going to be offering free home values, right? So think of it this way. We're not getting a random internet lead from a home value ad on Facebook. We're getting leads from your client's sphere of influence, right? Think referrals, right? These people are recognizing that you are their friend or family's member's realtor. And so you're giving those people information. You don't get a lot of leads from this, right? But you get really high quality leads because they already know you're the realtor for their friend or family, right? So I definitely recommend that you use that. This, as you can see, is an open house, right? I was looking at an open house. but you actually definitely want to use this when the home is just listed. If you do have time and you do open houses, definitely do it at open house. But I also, and the reason why I'm saying definitely do it then is because when the home is sold, you use it again. And look at this. It says, we just bought a new home. And this is from the acting as the seller's agent. And we want to recommend you at your office if you're thinking of buying or selling. And we automatically put your name and email in front of everybody on Facebook, right? So it's kind of a pre-written testimonial saying you've done an excellent job. We create it automatically when your home is sold, right? Do you use it? Here's the trick about these tools. They don't work if you don't use them. The cool thing about this, there are many cool things about it. One, it's not an ad. An ad expires in a day or 7 days or maximum 30 days. This sits on your client's wall forever unless they decide to delete it. And most people just walk away and forget about it. And then your clients, friends, and family and colleagues log in weeks later or months later on Facebook, and they're like, oh, so-and-so sold their home. Oh, that's interesting. Here's their name and number. I might be interested. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to drive me to the single property website. But because this home is sold, the call to action is offering a free home value, okay? So you're getting a free home value lead from a friend or family or colleague of your current clients. This is a much higher quality lead than a random Facebook ad, okay? So you want to get this into your mindset of, hey, I've got a real strong social media game. I'm going to be involving you. We want to get more offers. We want to get a top dollar for your home. So I'm going to give something to you when it's just listed, when it's open house, and when it's sold, right? So use a seller social media tool. We have an e-flyer for the seller social media. Works the same way. You can email it to them. They can forward the email. It's not as effective as the social media post, but it does the same thing. It says this home is sold, and you can get your free home value all over the place, right? So we talked about the nearby homeowner letter. We've also got the e-flyer for your database. Now this home is sold, right? But it's very much like the print letter that we started the call with. It says this home is sold. Go check this out here, right? Click on that picture or click on that link. That affected your home value, right? So go here and get your free home value, right? And that's one flyer. You can copy the HTML right here. You can take it to your CRM and do an email blast right out of your CRM, okay? And if you got a constant contact or something like that, you can work there as well. That's a very important tool to use. This home, as I said, is sold, but I do want to tell you, like, this is my open house. We were looking at this earlier. So an open house e-flyer for your database is, it says, I got an open house at 1 to 4, right? Go here and become a buyer lead, but that will affect your home value. So if you own a home, go get your free home value. Here's the thing about your CRM. And when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about realtors who've been in the game for a while, and maybe you've got a few hundred or a few thousand leads somewhere. You don't know what all those hundreds or thousands of people are doing today. You just captured them as a lead at some point, so you sort of know they're interested in real estate, right? So you can use this email. You should be using this. If you've got over 1,000 leads, you should be using this every week on any property at any status, okay? Copy it here, you go in your CRM and you blast it out, all right? So on the listing side, these are the tools that you want to use, okay? Now I'm gonna say one more thing, and on the listing side, that when a home is sold, and we talked to somebody here sold a home over 30 days, you can still market it as sold over 30 days. But so when we click on market listing, we automatically drop you on the Facebook ad section, okay? And so when you run an ad on a home that's sold, notice the call to actions is offering a free home value. This is actually a better ad than what is your home worth, the old school home value ads, because you're saying that you've actually done this. Now, I will tell you this about this kind of ad. Some people run ads just like this and they get leads. And other agents, just like you, run this ad just by default, just like this, and they don't get any leads, right? And then they find me and then we talk about what's going on. And what I have seen is if you're in a highly competitive market, this default language right here that I've highlighted on the right, it isn't working, okay? Now we do this by default, it's dynamic, we get the city and stuff, but there are times where you need to beef this up. And so let me show you what you do in that case. And you should do this, frankly, in every case that you run an ad on a home that's sold, you should click advanced options down here and scroll down. And you see this section, it says primary text right here in the center. This is the same text as this on the right in the ad. So there are things usually that happen, especially in today's market, that Scott and I don't know. Right? It's not showing up in the data feed. So you can customize it and add things like this, right? Like in contract in 5 days. Have you had this happen in 2021? Right? 8 offers. Sold, I don't know, 20K above asking, right? These are all data points that most realtors think, literally, I have had this conversation so many times. I don't have anything to market anymore. I sold my home last month and it's gone. And I'm just sitting here dead in the water. And so I'm going to cancel, right? And I'm like, well, what? You sold it? Yeah. Yeah, I sold it in 4 days. And I had like that kind of message right there. That is really compelling information for the average homeowner. For you as a realtor, it may not be significant. But for the average person who owns a home who's thinking about selling their home, if you can tell them that you can get it in contract in 5 days or get top dollar, they're going to want to talk to you, right? And so adding this kind of language can make the ad work better, right? So running sold ads is a top way of getting listing leads, okay? Now over here, we have a whole ad section. And let me take a sip of my coffee and let me ask everybody, because we have added so much to our platform regarding Facebook and Instagram advertising in the past 30 days that I don't think anybody even knows it. So I want to just ask, and if you wouldn't mind putting in the chat panel while I take this sip of coffee, do you run ads in our system with this page? Yes or no? That's all I want to know. And then I'm going to go into detail because a lot of you don't even know that you can. And so, but I do want to kind of get an idea of this crowd of like what you really don't know. So Cheryl saying not yet. Okay. So Ron saying yes, right? Because I just signed up an office this weekend or last week. And they just came into me and was like, oh my God, I can't believe how easy this is. And for offices, we just added recruiting. So you can run recruiting ads as well. And a lot of you, about half of you, have not run ads in our system. So thank you for saying this. Please let me know if there are more answers. I need to have a sip of coffee here, and I'm going to start talking. Okay. So, oh wow, Ron got 83 leads in 6 days. Is that buyer leads, Ron? Where are you? What state are you in? That's good, 83 leads in 6 days. Let me show you something, speaking of that. Texas buyer leads, yeah, okay, cool, that makes sense. Definitely getting buyers, it's a no-brainer. There's just no better way to get buyer leads. And I'll tell you this, Ron, you did it in our system, right? Because a lot of people, they don't even know that you can run ads in listings to leads. Yeah, so he did it in our system, and I want to show you something. I'm going to show you how to run an ad, but now that I know that half of you don't even know how to do this, I do have to kind of slow down a little bit here. Facebook ads in general in your business. I do a class on Facebook ads, like that's all I talk about. That's not what this class is about. This is about all the ways to get listings and getting, and I'm sorry I'm scrolling here, I want to show you something. Getting leads is definitely, you can get buyer leads really easy with Facebook. You can also get listing leads, and that's what we're going to talk about in just a couple minutes. But I want to just show you something that came in here. This guy right here from Remax has a great video, and he's talking about the fact that he's getting all these leads with phone numbers. And that's what I want you guys all to understand. Our leads are coming in with pre-populated name, email, and phone number. They are pre-populating them from the profiles on Facebook. And we're seeing, I'd say roughly 75% of those phone numbers are legit, because you need to have an accurate phone number to access your account. So let me show you this one thing, and thanks for putting up with me scrolling through here. Right before Christmas, on December 22nd, Heidi came in here and said, I have 447 leads with names, phone number, and email for 8 cents a lead. Okay. Now, Ron, I don't know how much you were paying per lead, but I think Heidi was on one of my calls about Facebook, because I know, we've been doing this for 12 years now. Facebook ads have only really been alive for maybe 7 or 8 years. And from the very first week that Facebook had ads, we were talking about them, okay? So, and I can tell you that leads get cheaper over the holidays and winter months, because so many realtors are taking a nap until spring. And this lady, those 447 leads, she generated in the month of December, right? So Ron is paying $9 for all 83 leads. Jesus, excuse me, that's awesome. Because Patrick is saying I must be doing something wrong because I've yet to get a lead. Patrick, are you running your ads in our system? That's the first question, okay? Because this lady right here, okay, you are. What kind of ads are you running? Are you running sold ads, or what are you running, Patrick? And where are you? What part of the country? So right there, 447 leads at 8 cents a lead just by running buyer ads, right? So let's go over to the ad section. And Patrick, if you can give me a little detail of like what kind of ads you're running, I'll kind of see if I can address that. But when you come to the ads page the first time, it doesn't look like this. There's one big green button and it says connect to Facebook, okay? And you click that and it shows you a Facebook page and it says continue as you and your name. And you have to click yes. And as soon as you click yes, it takes you to the second page that says what business pages do you want to reflect, right? Your real estate business page. So you click the box and then you click save and done, and there you go, right? And then it's connected. And so when you're running an ad, the ad is going through your business page on Facebook, okay? And I'm gonna show you that in a moment. It's also gonna charge, if you say I wanna make a $30 ad, it's gonna charge your credit card in your Facebook account. So if you're a kind of agent, yeah. Okay, so if you're running ads, and I lost my track because Patrick put something there, so I kind of I think I need more coffee, guys. Sorry. What was I just saying here? Well, we're running ads. Oh, we're setting it up. You connect your business page, and then when you come here, you see these 4 buttons, okay? And one is to create a listing ad, one's to create a landing page ad, and one is to create a PDF report ad. We're gonna run all 3 of those ads, okay, in the next few minutes here, because you can use these to run ads and get listing leads, okay? But I do wanna tell you that when you see these buttons the first time, you see there's a green box, there will be a yellow box here, and it will say something like, accept the custom audience terms. Click that button, and that will take you to Facebook, and click the button on Facebook that says accept. You want to use custom audiences, okay? And then refresh this page, and that yellow message will say turn on retargeting, okay? And I want all of you to, one, be running ads in this system on a weekly basis, and all of you to have turn on retargeting. And I'm going to show you what retargeting is in a couple of minutes here. So Patrick and I, you know how I kind of lost my mind there, and it's because Patrick said that he put a message here. He says, I must be doing something wrong because I yet to get a lead, okay? So so I asked, what are you doing? Is it primarily doing home value ads and new listing ads? Okay, so let's do a home value ad, because that's the kind of ad that will get us listings. So where do we do that? We click on create a landing page ad. And I don't know what you're doing, Patrick, but you always want to leave it on lead ads. This is how you get pre-populated name, email, and phone number. If you change it to traffic, you're not going to get all the leads that you want, and you're definitely not going to get phone numbers. So leave it on lead ads. We're going to do a home value ad, and I'm going to click create. Okay, this is how you create an ad, and all you got to do is type in Birmingham, right? That's where he is, Birmingham, Alabama, right? What did I spell it right? Yeah, right there. So let me talk a little bit about this, okay? And this is true for all of you around the country. There is a reason why these ads are not as effective as they used to be. And I want to point out, I'm going to just time out, I'm going to point out, when you run this ad, this is the form. It has the name, email, and phone number. So when they click on the ad, this page over here on the right pops up, and that name, email, and phone number is already populated. It also asks this question, what is the time frame to sell? And you can drop it down. It's like, just thinking 1 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, and more than 6 months, right? So it's a good information lead as long as you leave it on lead ads, the default setting, okay? So that's thing number one. You don't even have to do that. You don't even have to click advanced options. I'm just showing you what you're going to get in the lead, right? But I do want to talk about this, like, why is this not working for Patrick, right? And let me type in Birmingham, Alabama, right? Now, I have not been to Birmingham, Alabama. I have driven through Alabama. It's been a long time, but I don't know this map. Let's see if there's a legend around here. But oftentimes, okay, that's 5 miles, yeah. Oftentimes a 15-mile radius means your ad is running way out here, right? But your ad might only be talking about Birmingham, right? And if it's not talking about Birmingham, like this one is just like, what is your home worth? That is not very effective, right? Like, not having a specific area is not very effective. So this is what I'm trying to explain here, guys, is why this ad might not work, right? For some people it does, but for most people it doesn't work at all. And that's because, let me give you the story where I know, which is Lafayette. I live in Lafayette, California, right? So if you tell, and I live in a county where the average sale price is wide. Like, it's like you can buy a home for 200,000 and you can buy a home for 20 million. And you can drive across my county if there's no traffic in about 30 minutes, right? So if you tell me get your generic home value, and I have a home over here and all homes are worth 5 to 10 million, I don't really want to talk to you, because I only want to talk to the people who know Alamo home values or Danville home values or Blackhawk, right? So a generic home value ad does not work very well. Now, if you went and said, you know what, I want to make this about Lafayette, right? I'm going to change the language. And I'm going to just say I'm checking out Lafayette. Well, you can't tighten the radius. 3 years ago, you could say, I want everybody that lives in the zip code of Lafayette. But things have happened at Facebook and you can't do that anymore. So now when I run an ad on Lafayette, it's going way out here, right? It's going all over the place. So all these people are seeing this home value ad, and if they click on it, they're not getting, they're chewing up at least $5 of your dollars, right? And they might not feel like this is not really my area, and I don't really know if I want to give up my contact information because it's not Lafayette, right? It's not Alamo. And so that's why, those are a couple of the reasons why Facebook home value ads just don't even work, okay? The other thing is, and Patrick, I don't know Birmingham that well, but this kind of ad has been used by realtors for longer than 5 years. And it's a bit played out, right? So that's why it doesn't generate high quality leads. This is the second to last thing that I recommend to all clients to do with their time. If you want listing leads, this is the second to last thing that I recommend. Let me show you the last thing I recommend. The last thing, which our clients love to do, is to get this page and get the embed code, which you can get in the back of the page, and embed it in your website. That is something that realtors love to do. It's a great use of your time, but there's almost no return in that, right? There are reasons why landing pages outperform websites, and I don't want to get into that when it comes to lead capture, but trust me, that is the last thing I recommend. And the second to last thing is running home value ad, okay? Now, what other kind of ads can I run to get listing leads? Well, I showed you one. I'm gonna click on listing ad, and I'm gonna market a home that's sold. That's a good one. I showed you that earlier. Leave it on lead ad so I get the phone numbers, click create ad, and then I need to click advanced options and beef up that language so that people will click on this ad. Okay, that's a good ad. There's another kind of ad that you can run, and that is create a PDF report ad. Okay, now when you click this, there are over 25 PDF reports for sellers and another 25 for buyers. And you, the agent, are branded on every page. Your contact information is on every page of this report. Now, if you click one of these little white buttons up here, you can download it and look at it yourself. You don't have to. We wrote them in-house. They're good. But if you want to, you can look at them. But then when you click this button that says create an ad, it creates an ad. So let's wait for that to bake here. All you got to do is type in, and Patrick, have you run any of these ads for the PDF reports for sellers? Because a lot of our clients get leads from this when they don't get leads from home value ads. And this one doesn't have to deal with Birmingham, right? You could overshoot Birmingham because you can't tighten down on Birmingham. It's going to be a 15-mile radius minimally. So, but what you're doing is you're offering value to homeowners, right? This is not the free home value, it's other valuable information. And so a lot of our clients do get leads from this very thing right here, okay? So on the ad side, you can run home value ads, and I am gonna tell you, like Patrick is saying, I'm not getting any leads from my home value ads, right? And I've heard that, but I've also done this, I do this call at least once or twice a month. I've had other agents recently say, I run that ad just like you're saying, and I get home value leads and they're good, right? So you got to kind of test it in your market, what works for you. So running sold ads, customize the language, running a home value ad, try it. It may work, may not, but definitely running PDF ads for sellers. These are ways to run ads and get leads from Facebook and Instagram. Okay. So now let's go over to landing pages and let's talk about another section, another area where we can get leads. Now, we have, when you sign up, you have 3 landing pages already created for you. Free home values right here, which is a home valuation landing page, a down payer assistance page, and a new construction, right? And yeah, you can go over to ads and run an ad and send it there, right? Tammy, you can customize these with your local laws. Well, what is it that your local laws are that you need to customize? So that I can just answer that. So you can create a landing page right here, because I told you get 3, but what if you want to create a home value page, which is called Property Valuation Plus, and go, Birmingham, right? You just type in Birmingham. And I will say this, like, I don't know Birmingham very well, but I'll bet you there's a neighborhood in Birmingham. Okay, I'll come back. So you might have a neighborhood, a particular part of Birmingham that you wanted to really focus on. You could type in the name of that neighborhood and click create a landing page. And it'll create a generic landing page that looks like this, right? Like it's got a cup of coffee and a computer and a cell phone, right? And if you try to go out with that, that can work. But remember, you're asking for people's address and contact information. And if this feels like just a national spam campaign, I ain't giving it to you, right? I know that if you go to a website and people ask you your address and your contact information, you probably hesitate, right? So when you create a landing page, you always want to click the green edit button. And this is my Release Valley area, right, in Lafayette. Now, you may not know Release Valley, but it's this beautiful road. It goes a couple miles on the edge of Lafayette, and everything there is like minimum 2 million, okay? All beautiful homes. You want to build a business there. So when you build a landing page for that, you want to have a photo that tells people, since they don't know you, that you know their neighborhood. This swim club is at the entrance of Release Valley. So people swim there, right? The kids swim there, the parents, everybody swims there. So if you know that club, you know Release Valley, and that's what I'm trying to convey to you. Like, create that page and use a landmark that people know. And that doesn't mean like a nice brand new $1 million home, right? That doesn't make people feel comfortable. This, when I set up Coldwell Banker in New Jersey, they told me after we set this office up, they're like, our #1 home value add is the one with the picture of the Summit Diner in it, right? Because this has been sitting there for 70 years on Main Street in a town of 24,000 people. And if you know Summit Diner, you know Summit, New Jersey. So that's how you're establishing trust when people have no idea who you are, right? Now, so that's a long-winded story about get the page ready. And then once you got the picture in there, go over here to the top where it says advanced options and click advanced options. And there's a red button that says print marketing. And right there is a letter that looks a lot like the nearby homeowner letter. But it's not about a home, it's just about a neighborhood, right? This one is about Release Valley. So if you want to build your farm markets, small towns, big towns, neighborhoods, developments, this is how you do it. Now, you can customize a letter before you print it, and I do recommend that you do, because this is really generic language right here. All you're looking to do is say, hey, you know what? 50 homes sold in Release Valley last month. You know, the high was here, the average square footage is here. Just a couple lines. They don't want to read a lot. Really, the point is to say that affected your home value and go there to get your free home value. And then you figure out how to get that letter in the market. Now, if you remember when we started the call and I was talking about Chris Winstead, he says, I mail a letter like this every 2 weeks to my target list. This could be mixed in there. You could say, hey, once a month, I'm going to send something about a listing at any status, and 2 weeks later, I'm always going to send kind of a neighborhood letter like this, right? And do that consistently to a good targeted list, and that's going to work for you, right? So why are all the heads cut off? Why are the heads cut off? I don't know, Tammy, what do you mean by that? Are you talking about this little swim thing? That's because these women are swimming, yeah. Or these people are swimming. Their heads are floating, yeah. The agents, why are the agents' heads cut off? I don't know what you're talking about there. Oh, here? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. That you can ask. Yeah, that's me. That's my picture. That's because I have an enormous forehead. Yeah. What is retargeting? That's good. So let me just take a pause and remind us all what we have talked about thus far. We're going to talk about retargeting in just a moment. So you can get listing leads by marketing your listings. I showed you the tools that you used. They don't even have to be your listings. You could borrow the listings and still get those tools. You can also create ads in our ad section, right? And you can market sold listings. You can create landing page ads. You can create PDF report ads, and you can also go to the landing page section and you can create custom home valuation landing pages for all your farm markets. These are the ways to get more leads, more listings, okay? So Vedrana is asking about what is retargeting, and I want to talk about that. But what that really gets into is converting leads, okay? What we've talked about for 50 minutes is how to capture seller leads. Now you must know that you actually don't earn any money until you close them, until you convert them and get them into a listing contract and sell a home, right? So we have some new things that we've added to leads that you need to be using like now. And one of them is right here. It says follow-ups and it says new. And we actually have a follow-up system that we launched about 2 weeks ago, and it's pretty good right now. And throughout the year of 2022, it's going to get stronger and stronger. We're going to add video, we're going to add text, we're going to add kind of voicemail technology, and we got a drip campaign for buyers or for sellers. Jacqueline, yes, you can create a custom ad for off-market properties. Yes, you can. I would create a listing, and you can say it's off-market in the listing section, and then just run an ad just like every other listing. That's what I would do, Jacqueline. So right here, if you don't have a good CRM, and I'm going to just try not to offend you here, but I'm going to broad brush it and tell you that 50% of realtors today in the US don't even have a CRM. Okay. If you are one of those realtors, turn on follow-ups. Just save yourself the headache and the cost and turn it on, right? Right now it's free. It's part of the system. If you're not a client right now, our pricing goes up this week. So if you are a client, you get your current pricing, right? But if you're not, I would sign up because you're going to get follow-ups as part of the system, and we got a platform to help you to help you either if they're buyers or sellers. So Ron's saying, can I hashtag leads when they come in? I don't know, Ron, if you're capturing leads, but if you look at the leads, they are already tagged if they're a buyer and seller, right? If you capture buyer or seller leads and you turn on the follow-up campaigns here, we know it's a buyer and seller. We only put them in the right category. We only put around the follow-up for that. Okay, so that's one thing. Now the other thing that Vedrana was asking about is what is retargeting. Now I want to remind you that you should all turn on retargeting. And I told you earlier that when you turn on the ads, the first thing you do is you connect your Facebook ad account, and then these 4 buttons will appear, and you can then, this green box will be a yellow box, and it will say accept custom audience terms, accept it, and then refresh it, and then turn on retargeting. Okay, so Reagan, we have a Boomtown API on the profile. Okay, and Boomtown has a pretty good CRM, so you probably don't need our follow-up, but when you go to the profile, there's a tab that says CRM integration, and you will see Boomtown right there. So we have the API, and we have APIs for a number of companies, and if we don't have your API, they usually give you a unique email address from the CRM. So if they say, if you send leads here, we'll scrape them and put them in there for you automatically, that's where you do that, okay? So back to ads and retargeting, you turn on retargeting here, and then every time, and I want to stress this, every time you run an ad, you want to retarget. So let's do that. Let's go over here and let's click create a listing ad, and let's run that sold ad that we were talking about because we want more listings, and we're going to leave it on lead ads. We're going to click create an ad, and now right now you got to click this button, but Scott and I were just talking, and we're going to make it so you don't even have to click that button. You can just have your custom audience. So what does this mean? Let me explain to you what this means, okay? I have it turned on, and when you turn it on, it tells us listings to leads to create a custom audience. In this case, it's all my buyer and seller leads. Now, if you're new to us, you may not have any leads. So when you turn this on, we create a file in your private Facebook account. And any lead that you capture with us from any tool, even if it's print tool, even if it's Craigslist, any lead that you capture is going to go in that custom file, in that custom audience. And when that file reaches 1,000 people or more, Facebook will allow you to target those people, to retarget, okay? And this is important because I know in the realtor concept of leads and quality leads, they often think if I call a lead one time or two and I never hear from them again, it was a bad lead. That's literally what probably 90% of realtors will tell you, which is just not connected to reality of online lead generation and the entire internet, but that's what realtors think, right? So what that means is you actually have to follow up with that lead multiple times. Hence, turn on our follow-up plan. But on top of that, by retargeting, you can say every time I run an ad, I want to retarget those people. They're going to keep seeing that your business page is in front of them with ads. And every time they click on that, they can reactivate as a lead, right? Even if you're buying Budweiser, you know, why does Budweiser have ads at a baseball, field? Because they need to stay in front of their target market, right? This is true for all products, including you as a service. You need to keep your brand in front of people. And today, with all the fun things going on the internet, adults in the United States, not children, 70% of adults spend 45 minutes every day on Facebook, okay? 45 minutes every day. And what are they doing? They're scrolling on their phone or down their little computer like I am right here, and they're looking at all the fun things. Here's my high school friends, right? All this fun stuff. And in that, there's my old colleague, in that will be an ad, right? Like an ad, and it will be your ad. I don't know, I don't see any ads here right now, but your ad will be sitting here, and when they click on it, you're going to get their name and email and phone number, right? And the people who see it are the people that you're targeting right here. In this case, anybody living within 15 miles of Auburn, Indiana, and anybody in my custom audience, okay? So that's what retargeting is. We got some other questions. I want to ask you all, that's kind of the end of my story, but I will answer as many questions as you have, so I recommend you ask me all the questions. So Reagan, we talked about Boomtown. Does this have any additional features like texting or voice drop? Jacqueline, our follow-up plan will have that. We don't have it right now. I don't know if I said this. We launched follow-ups 2 weeks ago, and it's got an email drip campaign. It's also got our PDF reports branded to you as part of that drip campaign. So we're giving high quality real estate information in your name to these things, right? And as we go out through the year, we're going to be adding those other text and features to this. So this is going to be really powerful. That's why if you don't have a good CRM, I recommend it. We need to get 1,000 leads on Facebook before we can use retargeting. That is true, Laura. I do want to say this, like there are a lot of people on this call, and I'm going to guess that some of you are really new agents, okay? And others of you have been agents for a while, and you've probably got a CRM that has hundreds or thousands of leads in it, right? You can export those leads, and then you can come right here and create a custom audience. And you can call it like My Dusty Leads, right? And then when you go to retarget on the ad section, you can target your old leads, right? Do you understand what I'm saying here? Because I'm talking fast. You might have a list of Zillow leads that you bought a couple years ago, and they're just sitting on your computer. You can upload them right here. In the format, what that spreadsheet should look like, you can see it right here when you hover over this link. If you've got old leads in your CRM or in your computer, you should upload them to your personal Facebook account, and you can do that right here. So much easier than on Facebook, okay? Okay, so any specials for new clients? Jacqueline, no, but we actually do have a special, yes, well, yes, we do, because the price is going up in 1 week to $60 a month, okay? Right now, you can sign up if you do it, well, whenever that ends. That right now, let me just go to start free trial. Let's see. Oh, it's too late. So price already went up. If you want a deal, you can click here and get 10% off by paying for the year up front. So our pricing went up, so I can't give you that deal. So let's see here. It was a bit late. Do any of these features cost us additional? Yeah, running an ad costs you money, right? Like you could take a landing page and go to Google and run an ad. You're gonna have to pay Google. If you click one of these buttons, these ads go to Facebook and Instagram. It's gonna charge your credit card on your Facebook account, and you can set the budget right there when you're doing it. The text IVR, which we haven't talked about much, it's a very valuable thing. I do recommend it. I think it starts at like $10 or $15 a month. You get unique codes. They will be embedded in your Facebook, in your posts, in your automated posts, and in your ads. And you can even print your own sign writers. Those numbers stay with you. It's like $10 or $15 a month, and those codes stay with you. That's an additional cost, right? So let's see here, question. Is there an ad account ID associated with our profile that we can use when verifying custom audiences? That, I don't know what that means, Reagan. Is there an ad account ID associated with our profile? First, you have to connect your profile, Reagan. When you first come to this page, you're going to connect your profile. That's the first thing you see on the ads page. So when you connect your profile, all the ID stuff, it's all there automatically. Okay, so that just works, okay? Oh, take the message that you're getting, Reagan, and give it to support. There is a step that honestly I don't know how it is, but it's a common thing that you need to do, and they have the instruction. They can help you do that. Yeah. Thank you, Vadrana. So this is a month-to-month deal, Jacqueline. If you want 10% off, you do have to pay for the year up front. Okay. Yeah. And Reagan, yeah, you're saying, yeah, thanks. Reagan's saying that our support is great. Our support team is great. And the fastest way to get support is to go to the support tab and put your question in this box. Our whole team watches it, so you're gonna get the right answer quickly. Are there any other questions? I do want to, since we're on support, if you're not in the mastermind group, put in this box, please add me to the mastermind group and let our support people get you in there. We started this call talking about the top way to get listing leads. And I named 3 names that are in this mastermind group. I cannot add you to the mastermind group, Tammy. As I just said, use the support team and ask them to put you in the mastermind group. All right. And I'll just answer this again. You can't find the mastermind group on Facebook if you're not in the group. It's like a private secret group. That's why you have to use the support page and say, please add me to the mastermind group. And then you'll be in it. And if you want more listings, look up Dustin Fox, Chris Winstead, and Alicia Pless. Okay. Any other questions? I appreciate all the questions that we've got. I'm happy to answer more. I do want to say this. I would recommend highly that if you have not perused the mastermind group lately, you should spend, probably a half hour in here and look at the stuff that Scott's been saying and the stuff that I have been saying. For me, it's usually, I'm not putting it in here. I don't put a lot. You'll see me doing recorded webinars because we added a lot of things and I haven't been able to talk about them all today, right? I'm going to show you one last thing since we're all hanging out, but I haven't been able to talk about everything today because there's just so much that we do. What? No, gosh darn it. Okay, I can't get there. Gosh darn it. Okay. There's something that we have and I can't remember how to get there. Sorry. We have some numbers in a file. You know, we have clients running ads all over the country every day. And this number here in the mastermind group reminded me of that. Yeah, right here. Like so what we did was we analyzed the last $500,000 of ads, right? Now, not all of you are running $500,000 in ads, but as a group, you're all running, you easily run way more than millions of those, right? Through our platform. But we analyzed the last $500,000 and we can tell that buyer leads on average almost cost this. It's about $1.50 a buyer lead. Now, I did tell you at the beginning of this call that we have people generating buyer leads for 8 cents. And even somebody on this call is generating really cheap. So buyer leads have gone down because realtors are taking a break right now, so the cost per lead is dropping. We've also seen seller leads, again, analyzing the last $500,000 of ad spend, are costing around $6.50 on average, right? They're higher in Manhattan, they're probably cheaper in Wyoming, but that's an average across the country. Louise, what's the name we should look up if we want more listings? There are 3 names in the mastermind group. Chris Winstead, Alicia Pless, and who else? Dustin Fox. And actually, this guy here just put in an ad, Josh. He kind of walks through it. I mentioned this at the beginning. That's a new video. Sounds like he's a coach, so he's a little bit salesy. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of a lot of info. This call is being recorded and it will be in the mastermind group later today. But I can tell you this, like I did a call on December 6th. And from I think that point on, I have been talking about the new things. Like this one here, I talk about the real estate calculator. Actually, let me see how many people we still have here. We still have a lot of people. So I'm going to share something with you in case you have not seen this. So we actually have, if you go to listingstoleads.com/calculator, we have a calculator. I'm going to give it to all of you right now. And I definitely recommend that you look at this. And I'm going to talk about it real quickly. But remember, you can get there by going to listingstoleads.com/calculator. This by default is telling us how many leads we need per month to earn $250,000 in commission, in your pocket commission, right? After split over here. Now, there are some things that affect that, right? So to affect that, how many leads you need per month, your average sale price in your market might be 200, right? So you can change that. You might say, I don't want to earn 250,000. I just want to earn 100,000 in the year, right? But based on that, we're suggesting that you can convert 1% of your leads, right? We've got a new follow-up plan that's going to help you, but that means you need 209 leads a month. And we're telling you, based on our tools, where are these leads coming from? Notice a large percentage of them come from social media. You can also get them from your sphere of influence, meaning your CRM, your seller's sphere of influence, right? And also your farm. So we've talked about tools that come out of all 4 parts of this pie, right? And we're saying you need 209 leads a month to earn 100,000 after commission splits if your average sale price is 200 grand in your area, right? And I want to remind you that I just showed you in here that one of our clients is generating leads 447 in a month, right? So put those things together. If you need to have a forecast of what you need to do in your business, I think this calculator can be really helpful, right? And we're telling you, and I want to point out one more thing. There's a radio button that says experienced agent and new agent. Because if you're a new agent, you're not going to have a big old database because you haven't been talking to people for 10 years, right? But if you're an experienced agent, you might have some resources, some assets that you can leverage with our platform. So I definitely want you to look at this if you feel like you want to grow your business and you want to have a better roadmap, right? Now you know, and you can tell, you can say, hey, you know what, I want to earn 300,000, but you're going to know how many leads you need to do on a monthly basis, right? So that's my story, guys. Happy New Year. Keep safe. Stay involved and on top of what we're doing, because this quarter is going to be huge. I just got off the phone with Scott. We got some awesome new technology coming. I just described some really awesome technology. I hope you all turn it on. And I didn't even mention, there's just so much going on. That's why you got to see my classes. I got to just show you. I appreciate you hanging out with me. On listings, I'm not even going to get in deep dive because it is in the mastermind group. If you go to listings, you go to settings and you click on ads, you can turn on activate automated ads. And you can say, I want my top monthly budget to be $300. And I want you, listings to leads, to run an ad anytime I have something just listed, open house, or just sold, right? Now, obviously you can do all the statuses, but you don't need to, but you can. If you don't even want to click these buttons and you know, because you looked at the calculator, that you need 209 leads a month, why not tell listings to leads, hey, do this automatically? And not only that, I'm going to turn on your follow-ups so that we are working your leads for you, right? So thanks, everybody. There's a lot of info. Sorry. This is what I've shown you in the last 15 minutes is super powerful. I suggest you all turn it on and watch what we push this quarter. This year, 2022, is more about helping you convert leads. We know, and hopefully you understand, we have the lead gen game down. We've been doing this for 12 years. We know how to generate leads better than any other company in real estate advertising, especially in cost per lead. We make it easy. It's crazy. So we are now focused in 2022 to help you convert that into business. So keep close, pay attention to what we're doing, and keep safe. Thanks so much, everybody.